Hey you mechanical puzzle freaks, it's MyklSkeleton. I thought I'd solve a bigger cube this time to keep things interesting, a 4x4. I've gone over a lot of videos on how to solve the 3x3, and if you can do that, then you can definitely solve a 4x4, because there's a couple different ways you can solve a 4x4, and the easiest way, if you already know how to solve a 3x3, is called reduction, and that's just reducing the 4x4 to a 3x3 case and then solving it like a 3x3. And at first that doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm just going to go over general concepts this time. I'm not worried too much about algorithms. I'm just going to show you what to do. If you already know how to do a 3x3, you know plenty of algorithms, and I'm sure it'll be not that difficult. So the question I bet you're wondering is, how do you solve a 4x4 like a 3x3? It just doesn't seem possible, right? Well, it's actually really easy. If you notice, on the 3x3, you'll only have 6 directions. So you've got R, L, you've got F and B, and you've got U and D. If you do that cool pattern I showed in my last video, this is what you would get. And you could do the exact same thing with your 4x4 by only turning the outer edges here. And if you limit yourself to doing that, then you can make the exact same pattern. So here we go. You've got the same pattern. Whoops, there we go. You've got the same pattern. So notice here the difference is where you have one center on the 3x3, you have 4 centers on the 4x4. And where you have one edge here on the 3x3, you've got a double edge on the 4x4. You've got 2 blue and yellow edges there. And once you pair up all the D edges, that's what they're called, and once you pair up all the centers and get them in the right relative positions, you can solve this 4x4 exactly like you would a 3x3. So I'm going to scramble this cube real quick, and notice that if you get your 4x4 and you don't want to learn how to solve a 4x4 yet, that's what you can do. You can just do inner slice moves, or no inner slice moves, just outer slice moves the whole time. LR, front, back, up, down, you know. And then once you get it scrambled like this, you just solve it as you would. You would do the white cross here, so you look for the white-orange pair, put it between white and orange center, and voila, and that's what you can do. But, and that's the last step of this technique of reduction, right? So, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do inner slice moves, just like I did there, and then I'm going to move it around and do all sorts of great stuff like that. Okay, so here we have a fully scrambled 4x4, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the center, and usually just find a center that's pretty much already close to being done. Let's say this double yellow, and then we got to find the 2 other yellows on the cube. There they are. And then we just match them up, and there you got the yellow center done. Now it gets tricky. You gotta then you got a pretty much good freedom. So then you pick your second center just based on what is pretty much done, and this blue one's almost done. And so I just need to get the other blue one down there, and voila, we got the blue one, we got the orange one. Now it gets tricky. You gotta make sure you do it right. So what's opposite blue is green. So once you have the green side, the blue side, and the yellow side done, you gotta make sure you get the rest in the right spot. And this is not right. You want orange right here, and you can see that by putting the yellow side down on a 3x3, the blue side towards you, and you can see that you want orange to the right of it. So we gotta swap these here. So I'm gonna go like this real fast. And then once you get that red side in right there, then you need to get the orange side opposite it, and that'll finish the white on top. So you do the opposite one to the one you started with last, and that's the easiest way to do it. And once you got the centers oriented right, you're good to go. Now, it's possible to do this wrong and then find out part of the way through, so hopefully you do it right the first time. Once you get the centers paired up, the next thing you want to do is the edges, and there's a ton of different ways you can do this, but the beginner's method is just to pair up 4 edges and store them on the top, then flip the cube over, pair up 4 more edges, store them on the new top. Now those 2 top and bottom are done, and then pair up the last 4 edges in the middle, right where they are. And the last 4 edges have the least freedom to move around on the cube, so they're the trickiest. but the top and the bottom ones are pretty easy. And the basic idea, I'm trying to find one here. Okay, so there's a blue orange here and a blue orange here, and the basic idea is to get this blue orange down there, and you know, you can figure out the algorithm. And once that blue orange is down there, you inner slice move to pair them up, move it up top, move it, store it away, move it back down, and restore what you do. And that's all you got to do. And then you've stored that edge up top, and you do that 3 more times. So here we have now the 4 D edges up top stored away, and now we flip the cube over, and we can pair up 4 more. And look, we already got 1 done there, so that's great. Let's do 3 more. And there we have the 4 other D edges done. So top and bottom is done. Now we got the middle D edges to do, and this is the trickiest. Now what you're looking for is 2 on the same side, and I don't have this on this one, so I gotta do something real fast to change it up. Okay, so we have that D edge and its pair right there. Now this time you do the inner slice move first, and then you move that pair down there using that algorithm right there, and then you move it back, and that pairs them up instantly. And you're gonna have to do that, you know, to the other ones too. So, and once you do this enough times, then you've paired them all up. So I have to do it 1 more time. So there it is. Now it's all paired up. All 4 D edges in the middle, all 4 on top, all 4 on bottom, and that's great. Now you are at the state like a 3x3. So all you're gonna have to do now is say solve the cross of white on the bottom, just like you normally would, and go from there. So yeah, there's the cross on the bottom. So next you just need to put in the 4 corners on the bottom, and then insert the 4 D edges in the sides, just like you normally would, and that'll solve the first 3 layers. Normally it's 2 layers, but on a 4x4 you're solving the first 3 layers. And then you need to orient the edges first, and then permute them and all that good stuff that we always do. And this is where you can run into parity problems, because we're not really solving a 3x3. So instead of on a 3x3, when you flip the orientation of one edge, you also flip the orientation of another edge. They come in pairs, so you would only have 0, 2, or 4 flipped incorrectly. And on a 4x4, this isn't the case, because we made our edges, you know, ourselves, and stored them and all that. They could have been flipped who knows how, you know. So you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So you can have odd numbers also, and that will require an algorithm to correct it. But you can do it intuitively. It takes a lot longer. You basically, yeah, it just takes a lot longer. But in this case, we got lucky, and we have the fish one just like before, and you can do the algorithm you know and love. And so here we have like the last step. Once you get all the corners on top, and this is where you can realize the parity went wrong. I have, you know, normally we were looking for a 3 cycle of corners, and in this we have 2 corners solved, 2 corners not solved. That's bad. So this is actually different. You were hoping for a 3 cycle and not a 2 or 4 cycle. So in that case you have to correct it, and that algorithm isn't so bad, and it's pretty easy to understand. You're just flipping the corners around. So there you go. And then once you get to that stage, you have to redo what you did before, and then you'll end up with a case that you recognize. So as you can see now, after I resolved the edges, I do have the 3 cycle I was looking for. These 3 are all in the wrong spot, and that one's correct. And then you can just finish it off with the usual algorithms that I showed you before, or a faster algorithm like what I'm doing right now. And there you go. You've solved your first 4x4, and it wasn't so bad now, was it? So that's the easiest method for solving the 4x4 if you understand the 3x3, and I think it's pretty cool. It takes me quite a while to do it though. About well, it depends on parity and stuff, but like 10 minutes or something, you know. I gotta actually think about it. I'm trying to get faster. Half the problem is the cube turns really bad, So I need to lube that up and stuff, but I haven't done it yet, and I need to clean the inside parts, but I haven't wanted to take this apart yet. So that's that, and I hope you enjoyed this. As always, if you want to see more cube videos or anything else like that, just join my circle of interests. You go to www.wiseoz.com / mechanical puzzles, and Wiseoz is spelled Wiseoz for those that get confused when I say that name, just like on my shirt. All right, and I have a lot more videos up there, so have a good day.